every time somebody in the other networks talks about Canada-U.S. relations, you have to pussyfoot around. Michael Diamond joins me right now. He doesn't pussyfoot, which is why we need the donations to keep this show going. So let's just talk about Canada-U.S. Trump essentially won the election for the Liberals, and here we are months later. No one knows whether trade is on or off. People are still concerned about it. But what about the basic relationship, Michael, between Canada and U.S.? I mean, we used to be buddies, little wrinkles now and then. Is it ever going to be back?
Well, look, I think, we learned as a nation during COVID that when borders were closed and supply chains were disrupted, that although trade, and we are a trading nation, is a very important thing, reliance on any one market for either imports or exports is also of concern. So I think, will the relationship ever reset to what it was in January of this year? Probably not. I think,
And should it though, do you think?
I think that we have a lot of positive things coming down to the country. We have provincial premiers who are now aligned in removing inter-provincial trade barriers, something that happened because of this disruption to our
Let me interrupt on that one. Do you think that's ever going to happen? They're talking about it now.
I think we've had unprecedented alignment in provinces signing MOUs and passing legislation in some cases to remove those barriers with provinces that will have reciprocal agreements. So I think
that's optimistic.
I am very optimistic. I think that's a good thing. The Prime Minister has pledged to do this, have this done by Canada Day. So a couple weeks left to go here, but that would be a good outcome of this trade disruption with the United States.
Yeah. Well, as I said, Trump is forcing Canada to do things that it hasn't done for decades and decades. So will there be the same sort of reciprocity, though? Will we get back to this, people driving back and forth for holidays and that congeniality between Canadians and Americans?
Oh, absolutely. Look, we just finished the G7, which Donald Trump attended here in Canada, and although it might be the most Canadian way to phrase it, it appears that there is an agreement to work towards an agreement between the Prime Minister and the President.
But Trump wore a Canadian flag on his lapel.
And I think eventually these countries, we don't just share a history and a border. We share a lot of common interest at home and abroad, and that will prevail. I think a lot of right now. I think there's multiple reasons why Canadians are canceling their trips to the United States. Donald Trump's trade war is certainly one of them. The value of the dollar is also certainly a reason. So I think in time we'll have warm and fuzzy relationships again. Absolutely. Will it mirror what it had been? No. But will we? Are we ever going to be adversaries? Absolutely not.
And is there a danger then, if we get closer to the States again, that we are going to take the cheap way out and not rebuild our armed forces by relying on them?
Well, I think some of the things Donald Trump had insisted, us meeting our NATO commitments, that's a good thing. And let's hope we don't abandon that if we're able to extract some sort of a trade deal. Take our border seriously. And we shouldn't have been taking it seriously because of what was coming out of Canada, allegedly, with fentanyl. We should have been taking it seriously because of what was coming into Canada with illegal drugs and, frankly, irregular migrants as well. So the border security matters. Our military matters, not because Donald Trump said it should, because it does for our nationhood.
I'm out of time. Thank you very much, Michael Diamond.
Thank you.
Smart guy, 3 minutes.